Hi, you guys, my peeps. What is going on? Sorry, it's like, oh God. Um, yeah, I'm reading today for the air sign of Gemini. That's okay. Yeah, I didn't really have much of a prompt today. Um, the first one was like such a cliche, but I found myself excuse me, I've been like out on a walk and I feel like I'm choking. Um, the idea of the half full, you can see the glass is half full or half empty. And yeah, it's a bumper sticker. But I realized just on the basis of some stuff that happened recently, um, it really was 3/4 full. And I was like, I can't see it. What a loss, what a loss. And I think of myself as optimistic, so that sort of surprised me. So just a little mantra became half full, half full, half full, half full. Because I really wasn't aware how chronically my thoughts turned to this sort of lack mentality of it's not enough, I'm gonna, whatever it is. So I just, sometimes the cliches are overused for a reason. And that's been helpful to me. Just the recognition that I, in fact, do that chronically. I don't practice gratitude. That's the other way to put it. I want to be more dedicated to. That sounds just sort of like, oh, but I think it makes a difference. And that was that. It led me to the next idea, which was. There's an idea when you manifest something, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz or whatever, it's very specific. And I think with the whole question of relationships, when you're hungering for a particular kind of balanced, warm, whatever it is, the guy who can make you laugh, the guy who will dance in the kitchen with you, whatever it is, or the woman, or whomever, that sort of idealized love. As we're trying to sort of invite that in, I think it's really important to loosen up the idea of what it's going to look like. If you think it's one person, and if that one fails, I've lost, my heart is broken, that's it. I think and people say this all the time, and it's, again, it's like half full, half empty. But there is a way in which what comes into your life comes in because you're open to it and it's open to you. And it requires both things, and I, for some reason, find myself battering on the closed door. I did that as a kid. My older sister would go in the room with her friend and shut the door, and I'd just throw myself against the door because I wanted to be with them so much. She's a lot older than I am, so I was like a dink, and, I get why she shut the door now, but at the time it was just like, let me in, let me in, let me in. And I've done that in other relationships to the point where you're sort of battering your own knuckles, and it's not good for a feeling of self-worth, anyways. But I thought when I had, my sister once said to me, and I think I've heard it elsewhere, that you love the differences between you. You love the difference. And I've tried hard to do that at times when, I felt really at odds, and sometimes fail to be able to breach that gap. But I have the kind of brain that, I try to figure it out then. I can accept that it happened, maybe, whatever the missed opportunity was. But if I think that the other guy has some kind of, because maybe I can't understand my own role, I look at their role and say, I don't know why I'm off on this tangent, but there's in that desire to understand the other guy's mind, you run into this sort of question of where does intuition about this is the thing for me, when does that sort of give over with grace to what's the thing for me? My intention is to have a warm relationship, to have a communicative relationship. I'd like a guy who can carry a tune. I'd like a guy who, or maybe a woman. I don't know. Life is long. But somebody who can appreciate this kind of thing. They don't need to be like this, but somebody who would just, whatever, snort and dismiss it out of hand. That would be hard. And it's hard for me that people who won't talk, that's really hard, because in the absence of them providing the info, I kind of go after it like a truffle hound, and it's exhausting. So I guess I did have a lot. Gemini, this one's for you. What's going on for Gemini? Ooh, that's an awkward shuffle. For the air sign, the twins. Coming up later this month. We're moving into your energy, yes. First card out, Two of Pentacles. The weighing up, the choice. Between two real things. And it seems to me between two things of value. And one is sort of one, you can see the kind of rainbow, as he juggles it, it creates this arc, this sort of rainbow arc effect. And it seems to me the one in the air that's landing in his hand, sort of pot of gold style, because pentacles can speak to money, but that the choice is there's one that shines. There's one that shines. Choice between two valuable things. What's that mean, Spirit? Whoa. Okay. Wow. Five of Swords. And two more just popped out. Maybe that. Oh no, they were already. So there's one more yet. Two more popped out. They did. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out. The cards are jumping. The choice. This is the two sides in conflict. It could be mind games. It's sword energy, so it has to do with mental stuff. It can be, winner take all kind of thing. And it has to do with words. It might be an exchange of words that were weaponized. This has the vague, I was going to say PTSD, because sometimes Five of Swords imagery looks like that to me. This just looks like, he's got two very defeated people behind him. And he's got all the swords. He's like disarmed everybody. And one he's raising on high. So it's a clear victory, but at a cost. And I had to look. He's got his foot up on a rock. At first I thought it was up on a body, because that's the kind of, you know, I vanquished. And isn't there some sort of trope about the guy with the sword in the air and the foot on the body? Followed by a card of victory, Six of Wands, of being seen. Well, that's interesting, because this is also a victory. I mean, there's a victor here. There are two victims. One of them, face down on the ground. The other one, like in, this grief posture. So there was a battle of some sort. Could be an argument, could be whatever it was sharp, and I don't know, I don't like the energy of that Five of Swords. But Six of Wands is a card of victory. Of power. So somebody's like coming back from, it could be that, it could be somebody coming back, I'm not sure. Knight of Swords. Here comes the message in that same sword energy. It's almost like news about the battle. Which side are you on? Two of Pentacles. There's been a victor at cost. But it's going to earn this person recognition. That's a meaning of Six of Wands. And this is almost like the news of the victory. This is just getting weirder and weirder. Seven of Wands, defense. I mean, it's so much militaristic imagery that's on the cards, and I mean, it's sort of unarguable. This is the guy taking up the defensive position. You're not getting in. Some of them are a little bit more ambiguous. This one, the guy is just absolutely blocking the door. So we have Six of Wands, Seven of Wands. Could be something like news. We held, the news is, Knight of Swords, I held my position, or something like that. I won. Tell us a bit more about this victory, or this struggle. Ace of Pentacles. So the victory is tangible. Remember, and I said with this Two of Pentacles, it looks like one is shining, like one's been chosen. And I think that's the one. Ace is the one. Like protecting, and it could be money. I mean, it could be protecting your money. And I don't snort because, I have to pay careful attention. Let's put it that way. Tell us about the one. Something of value. The potential for growth. He's protected the one. I don't know why I say he, but every character we see on each card is masculine. And they're all minor arcana. So it's about some kind of daily, or in your actual environment within your reach, people in a dynamic. So tell me about the one, please, Spirit, the Gemini. It's a strategy that worked. Because Five of Swords, Knight of Swords, that's in your energy. And it's a card of victory at all costs. And the messenger of, he's imparting some sort of knowledge. I gotta concentrate here, or stop concentrating. Ace of Pentacles, please, Spirit. For Gemini. Yay! Ooh la la, Tower. Well, liberation out of a constraining situation. The universe steps in and gets you out. I'm getting the image of, the sky hook where you're wearing a little harness and they come along and snag you and fly you away. That's not quite what this looks like, but it's that idea of just the universe stepping in and like blowing you out of this place. But that's also saving you. Kind of, what's that expression? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's kind of like that. Because the tower doesn't stand. It has to go. It's something that has to go. It's sudden. It can be an epiphany, but an epiphany that changes not only the way you think about things, but sort of changes the way you live your life. Changes your sense of why you're here. Big change. And sudden, I'm just wondering, the ace is the potential for growth. But this is sort of like the growth that, you bust out at the seams, kind of. The psychic seams. Busting out of the seams. Or like those little things you drop in water and they expand. It's sort of like that. Like whatever this potential is somehow going to grow so big you can't fit where you used to fit. I hope that makes sense. I still would like to see some more on Two of Pentacles, Five of Swords. The choice about what to fight for might be the way to see it. Five of Swords. What you're willing to fight for. Choosing what to fight for. And you've chosen victoriously. And you're getting acknowledged for it, or you will be. So a message goes out in your energy, Knight of Swords, but it runs into a block. Somebody's blocking it. I don't think that's you. Somebody's blocking it. They're either blocking the message or they're blocking the potential. But this is the result. Boom. I mean, it's sort of as if, can't come in, you can't come in. And this is like you can't stay in. You're too big. You've gotten too big for this. Whatever constrains you. I'm getting the idea that it might be an ideology, some kind of belief system. It's the only major arcana too, and it's no Pee-wee major arcana. I mean, Tower is like kaboom. You know, it's a big deal. Okay. And I was going to say, I tend to think of Tower as a scorpionic energy. I've said that in other videos, and just because it's such a transformation, and here it is. You can't live here anymore. And this psychic is something that was too small for you, for your psyche. Something about your psyche is growing. It's got the potential for great growth. Wow. Wow. Okay, we have the transformation and temperance. And I'm quite sure we got this in the last reading, which would have been for Capricorn, I think. 2 major arcana, a card of like divine presence, you know, blending energies in our lives sort of for the purpose of healing. Almost like the alchemist as the, you know, the early chemist. It was a science. It was a way to try to address imbalance or to purify. I mean, I don't purify base metals. And it's a fire energy card. And she has these two, she's swimming in water, you know, up to her breast in water. And this cup, one's submerged in the water, and the other is on fire. And it's tempering with heat and cooling, heat and cooling. I think that they do that in metalwork. You work the thing and then you go psh, and you stick it, you know, it's hot and you hammer it, and then you stick it in the water. I think that's how it goes. I mean, temperance is such a card of life and warmth and divine presence. And this you might think of as the opposite, but it's not. It's the business of transforming out of the place that was confining to your innermost being, to your psyche, to the part of you that dreams, literally, and dreams in terms of believes in what you can't see yet. That's sort of like the half full, half empty thing. It was like, you know, manifesting isn't just about picturing anything. Picturing myself at a certain job in a certain suit and doing the work, and I don't know. It isn't just about picturing. You know, it sort of has to come from a deeper place. I mean, these are huge. You know, we've had everything up until this point was minor arcana, all of it. And then suddenly, literally, boom, we're in the land of, you know, God, I never have a good name for it, but it's not everyday life. It's something that it may express through everyday life. How else does it express? You know, and often in the form of your dreams and kind of trance states when you're not really present to the immediate reality. You're present to some other dimension. But it's expressed through this. What, you know, this is how we're in the world. So I don't, you know, and I'm an earth sign. I don't in any way downplay that aspect of it is absolutely co-equal with the internal sort of collective unconscious. But here they are at the end: Tower, death, temperance. So whatever upheaval Tower caused, and it does, it's not a card of sort of the placid, it's dramatic change, but change that can be good in the moment. So good that it like blows your brains. You can't even get your head around it. It can also mean like real disruption, but that somehow out of that disruption comes a transformation. You stopped being the old thing. The circumstances aren't the same. There's a transformation. Something is ended, Tower. No going back. But what that opens the space for is temperance, which is sort of like the divine presence, however you want to call that, that part of, the grace of the universe that's present for us and in fact is in us. And she is, I said this the other day because it struck me, and maybe it was the same card, but I don't think it was. It was a temperance card, though, that had a really lovely, hot woman in a flimsy burnous, It's a card of sensuality, too. It's a fire sign card. It's about passion and creativity and a kind of, but still really balanced. And healing. How we're healed almost like through the body. Through the body. All right, I just want one more on this, the choice to fight for something and being successful. And it's like the news goes out. That's what I still don't get, is that 7 of Wands. There's a message coming in and somebody's barred the door. I don't get it. Tell me about the 7 of Wands again, please, Spirit. 7 of Wands, please. The barring the door, the 5 of Pentacles. Well, these guys are on the outside. They're outside the... It's not that implicit here. There's just the light coming through the windows. In traditional Rider-Waite, they're outside a church. Somebody has left somebody out in the cold. I don't get that. We're going to have to dig a little deeper, Gemini. Something worth fighting. You made a choice to fight for something and were victorious. Message comes in. I think it's a message. Oh, sorry, I've got an itch. There are these weird brown-tail moth things that have fibers that get on you and just drive you nuts and make you itch. In comes the news. It's the news of the victory, I think. And it's like, perhaps the news is you've been out in the cold. You, somebody else, have been out in the cold and defensive. This is really bad. All right, I'll just ignore. 5s indicate a need for change. Maybe the defensiveness has left somebody out in the cold. And perhaps the result of this conflict is you don't have to be defensive anymore. Unbar the door. I've fought for this thing, and there's been a victory that affords us a new opportunity. Five of Pentacles, this loss thing, plus this Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the equal exchange, the equal give and take. Which I think I even said something about that. So there's a new opportunity. And then this just slamming triple crown of major arcana. I want to get something on the opportunity, the Ace of Pentacles. Can you tell us, Spirit, about the opportunity, please? Okay. Oh, jeez. Hang on. Okay. Let me just get this. Temperance took a tumble. Okay, and I said, what's the opportunity? Star, wish granted, ending up where you belong, where the universe wants you to be, where the universe is trying to guide you. You know, where, and when I say the universe, it's sort of like, there are times when we just feel like we're battling upstream, battling. Five of Swords every step of the way. And then there are times when you kind of get in a current that takes you a little slipstream-esque forward to the place you're supposed to be. You're guided there. You know, follow the star kind of thing. So it's an opportunity for healing, for ending up where you need to be. Which isn't here. You know, this is being trapped in your own thoughts, perhaps. It's in your energy, Gemini. And so is Star. It's a card of Aquarius, but it's an air sign card. About the bigger perspective, too. And the new. Aquarius is an energy of innovation. So this opportunity, I think, is for something both innovative and healing that lands you where you're supposed to be, where you're guided, you're following your guidance out of this trap. Because now from the higher perspective of Aquarius, you're able to identify the trap. Emperor. And I'm always puzzled, like, is this your energy? You expressing the divine masculine energy, which is, I will take control of this. You know, this is my watch. I'm responsible. I'm stable. It's a 4 card, and 4s are all about stability. I'm just looking here to see if we have another 4. No. It's a card of Aries, another fire sign. It's purposeful, decisive, you know, knowing what to do, you know, and what he wants everybody else to do too. I mean, it's a bit of an authority figure like that. And I'd say something sassy about the 8 of Swords, Emperor, but I think it's more like, because the hard-hitting cards are Star, Emperor, oh my God, and the Moon. Moon, a card of Pisces. Pretty much, not the opposite, but this is the guy who sort of rules the overworld. This is sort of like the underworld, not in the sense of Hades, hell, and all that stuff, but this is the subconscious feeling place. And this is like the above ground, you know, make it work. I almost said, like, make the trains run on time, which was, I think, Mussolini. It was a kind of an excuse for fascism. You know, it's terrible, except that it makes the trains run on time. And that's sort of snarky, but it's you know, it's sort of like, this is the politician, this is the mystic, this is divine masculine, this is divine feminine. That's happened a bunch. I think it was in the last reading we had this kind of complementary energy. And if this is within one person, is that balance? Yeah. You know, it really is. So the victory might be achieving a balance, either within yourself or between you and somebody else, a kind of yin-yang thing that brings you, you know, on that deep level of not the everyday, not the everyday. Moon, Emperor, Star. I mean, and against those, this little sort of, I'm stuck, I don't understand. And a lot of cards of feeling. Death card is Scorpio. Moon is Pisces. But this is like, not that, you know, these kind of major arcana, can this little belief system separate somebody from, you know, kind of their own, the energy of their own existence beyond just what you do every day? It's like on the spirit plane or something like that. Can it contain it? No. No. Universe is saying, kaboom, you are liberated to change, to heal, and be in the right place. Will guide you. You know, you're not going to be alone, says Temperance. And it's both on the intuitive level and the sort of, you know, this is sort of like the keeper of the order, where everything's above board and you know what's going on. It's like, you go this way, you go that way. Moon energy is dreamy and stuff that exists and is very real and expresses in our lives, but that we're not conscious of yet. Emperor is a card of consciousness, of, you know, of high functioning on the, it's the archetype of the high functioning leader who gets things done. And this is in a different realm, literally. Different realm. So there's something there about this choice. The choice to fight for something. You're victorious. A message comes in, I'd say addressing this. I've been left out. Somebody has barred the door. And there's a victory over that. 5 of Swords victory, 5 of Pentacles out in the cold. And there's something to show for it. Now, remember I said something like victory at all costs? Well, this is something of value that was somehow extracted from this stressful battle. You went to fight for something. And if you were stuck, you're liberated. because the universe is on your side. That's part of it. It's just like the universe is on your side. You want out? We'll get you out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana. Oh boy. So what's going on below the surface in that moon energy place? In that place of archetypes, in the place of dreams, in the collective unconscious, where the same story kind of resonates with all of us. There's a lot going on down there, you know. And there's a sense of control, but there's also kind of a sense of you know, this lady in the transparent dress. There's something about there's control, but there's in the same energy, fire energy, control and exaltation. I mean, and a very feminine energy on this card, and a very dude energy on that card. And there's something about the full moon. I think that's coming up fairly soon. It's like on the 4th or 5th. Something might happen then. I mean, timelines are, you know, it's tarot. It's a good read. And for the one card that really stands out, in your air energy is the star, one of my favorite cards in the deck. And this other one that I thought was really, because usually it's a card of contention and ill will and, you know, a battle that leaves everybody traumatized. I don't see that in this. Somebody's willing to fight for and defend you know, wish granted is kind of, doesn't quite get at it, but the, you know, you don't live here, you live here. And that's a good trade-off. I mean, it really is. From the limiting thing to Aquarian energy, which is expansive, innovative, fresh. Gemini, I like it. I like it. Hang on to your hats though, because your daily life is gonna do this in a way and unleash these very strong, very powerful, you know, deep energies that are beyond just, you know, I get up, I make the coffee. This is it'll be reflected in your daily life. Your daily life has brought you to this point. You're where you need to be, and you're not where you don't need to be. You'll get blown out of it if you haven't already. And all for the good. You know, it's like, it's actually all good. Gemini, the twins, could be divine masculine, emperor, divine feminine, moon. The structure, the intuition, etc. Love you guys. Have a good season, Gemini. You rock.